In these videos, I'm going to show some tips about coloring. I use Crayolas, the twistables. They're somewhat transparent and they don't damage my ink illustrations. So I'll be using those. Let's start with the red. And the red, I do the darkest colors first, and I shadow in the interior or the darkest part of whatever I'm drawing first. I use the lighter colors for blending, and by coloring in the dark color, you're mapping out how you're going to shade the flower here. So I'll start with the red and add it to the different areas. The camera's kind of on a time lapse, otherwise this video would take hours to do for the various different shading and stuff. I don't recommend being in a hurry. I think you should take your time and enjoy your coloring books. These are just tips that you can apply to your coloring books for your coloring enjoyment. I saw many videos of people drawing, and it was so fast and so complicated. I felt like maybe there needs to be something more, a simpler way of doing it. I did go to art school in college. I first worked on a nursing degree and finished that, and worked as a registered nurse while I went through art school in college. Mostly, or I could say I'm an illustrator, pen and ink. Some people are graphite, which is pencil. Some people are charcoal. Some people sketch. I'm a free-handed, I do things free-handed with a ink pen, and I use color pencils. I have Prismacolor and very thin, but Prismacolor is actually very soft. It's very brilliant, but you get the brilliant colors when you lay it on pretty thick, and the wax becomes an issue. I use Crayola because you don't have to sharpen them. They're somewhat transparent and they don't damage my ink. And to me, the ink is the most important part because that's primarily what I am. And so another thing, when you're putting in your red or the darkest color, make sure it is pretty light, because you're going, sorry for the shadow, that's my camera. I have a camera posted extremely close to the tablet, and I fight it several times during the video because I want to reposition it. You can see me repositioning it, and accidentally got under the light and had a collision there and malfunction, but we're back on track here. So the next color is the melon color, which would be a medium light. I'm big on picking contrasting colors because that's where you get your brilliance. On this, you're going to cover the red, and you're going to go a little outside the borders of where you just put the red on above and below. You can see I'm coloring above and mixing. You know, when you're putting thin coats, you actually end up with other different wonderful colors. So keep it light, keep it pretty thin right now, because there's more build up to come. As you can see from the flower above, this flower is going to look like that flower, and these are the same colors and the same technique. I think since I did go to school and I did do oils and acrylics and color pencil and pen and ink and graphite and charcoal and all that, there's people that make things very difficult, and that is not necessary. As a matter of fact, if you can get a good result from simplicity, then you're ahead and you're faster, and it just looks more natural or gentle, or it's more attractive. So anyway, here I am. I'm coloring all the petals, and you want to leave places white until the point of adding the color, because like I said, Crayola is transparent, but it's not completely erasable. It is erasable to a certain point, but you damage the paper by excessive rubbing or scrubbing or erasing, or I've seen people put blades on there and try to scrape it off, and it's just really not necessary to be that strange. And the best part is keep it simple. Work carefully and cautiously. Have a light touch. There's no reason to just try to put all your watercolor, all your pencil color down there at one time. And because there's more to come, and you want to be able to have colorability towards the end of the game. And so anyway, you can see the flower is coming alive. I'm taking the orange or dark yellow up into the tips of some parts of some of the petals. You want to stagger things. Do not make it uniform. Okay? Now back to the red. We're going to go close to the edge, but not the edge. This is a shadow point or a curve point, and you want the petals to appear to bend, so you need to put a little contrast down there, and I mean a light touch. You're just barely putting it on there, and you are going to use it as a shadow that doesn't stand out. You're going to blend that in, so don't be marking it up too much. Be gentle, be light. Okay, got that. Fighting with the camera again. And I have used the blended in the tips with the yellow, and put yellow on the ends, the bright yellow, and blended that, and you can see I got out of line there, but I'll address that later. Anyway, the purple, which is for shading, basically you can shade anything with purple. Purple is made with a combination of blue and red. So it goes with blues really good, it goes with reds very good, it goes with greens very good, and so I do not use shading with gray or black, because it makes it a muddy mess. This is not graphite, this is colored pencil. So you have to stay bright. So I use this on the edges of the petals that are, this petal right there is underneath the other petal. So go up and down that. I'm going up and down the veins of the petal. Petals have veins, you know. So that will add some texture. And this petal is underneath that one. So I'm going to put purple in there. And then I put purple right around the rim so that it, see right there on the edge, on the corner I made a little circle, and then I bring it out a curve, and it makes it really appear rounded or bent. And these techniques can be used for anything that you are using color pencil for, like wings or butterflies or flowers or dresses, anything that's bent or highlighted. All of these techniques will work. There I'm going up and down the stems, the veins, sorry. And I'm barely, I'm not coloring in. Don't blend too much because that's a mess too. You want your colors to stand out. There I'm doing the shadow around the edge, around the turn there, and then shadowing under that, where that petal appears to be on top of the other petal. Now I'm going in and darkening the tip towards the center of the flower. A lot of times flowers have bright green or bright purple in the center of the flower. And you can really draw a flower any color you want to. These are supposed to be kind of like azaleas, and I don't think there's yellow or orange azaleas, so that's why I'm coloring them any way I want to. There I'm doing the shadow, showing that that flower is on top of that flower or above it. So you want to put the purple shadowing underneath and covering the flower below, and that will lift that flower up and above the other flower. And anyway, so I worked on an art degree for years and years and years, and my goal was to go into medical illustration because it would be pretty easy, being that I was a registered nurse. Wouldn't be that complicated for me. And the years went on, and I got very broke and very tired and broke. Art is very, very expensive. When you're going to school full-time and you're working full-time, it is exhausting. When I went to RN school, I worked full-time and went to school full-time, and that was exhausting too. But as I got older, into my 30s, I was still working on the art degree. I actually just got tired. I also got pregnant and had my son, and got married, and that didn't work out, so I ended up being a single mom. So I worked full-time, 2 jobs to pay for us to have a home and pay bills and be able to you know, get by. And being a single mom's tough. So I didn't go back to school, didn't finish the degree. I have a minor in a minor in photography and a minor in ceramics as well. Pretty much only lacked, and this is probably not a good thing to say, but 8 semesters of art history. For some reason, I just couldn't stand that class. It, you know, they turn out the lights and you watch slides for an hour, and it was, maybe I was too tired, but I kind of went unconscious, or I was asleep but I was awake. Anyway, I don't remember any of it, so I'd have to drop out before I failed to try to take it again, and I took it 6 times and still couldn't stay awake, and or whatever that state of mind was. But anyway, I took all the design classes, drawing classes, painting classes, photography, ceramics. I mean, I spent so much money, it was unreal, and it's just not affordable as a single mom, and I didn't have the time nor the energy to go back to school. So later in life, here I am. I see that coloring books for adults are popular, and I think, you know, I actually can draw my own coloring books, and I love pen and ink, and I like color pencil. And so there I am, going to erase that little mark right there, and you can see that it goes away. I love Crayola. Anyway, fighting with the camera again. Do the center of the flower, and then we'll be finishing this up. In the next videos, I will probably do one of the leaves, and then I will show you how to color a leaf. Anyway, this way you know how to combine colors, you know how to layer, you know how to shadow, you know how to accent. But we will keep on. We'll do some more different flowers. Flowers are good. They have all the textures, all the colors, all the bizarre designs is in flowers, and they're easy, and I really love flowers. So on the next video, we'll do leaves, and the way I do leaves is very, very simple, just like this, and you get a good result. Okay?